Guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is chapter 66. Now we will read it and find out what it brings upon us. So I started it already, and let's begin. Be my guest. Now playing as Mason. Family is a tricky concept. There's the traditional definition that involves DNA, bloodlines, legal documents. And then there's the family you choose and who chooses you back. The people who nurture you, care for you, love you. If I'm honest, Addie, Mag, and Dr. and Mrs. Price had always felt more like family than my parents could ever be. Laughing at Christmas movies on their couch was heaven compared to the cold, awkward days I'd spent with my parents. And as I pulled into their driveway the night before my family's unusual sky trip, I couldn't help wishing I wasn't just there to say goodbye. Home sweet home. But I should have known something was different this year when I saw a motorcycle parked in their driveway and when their front door swung open for me. Oh god. The last person I expected to see was on the other side. No. Not drunk in my shock with a satisfied smirk and leaned casually against the door frame. Looks like it's small world after all. How can I help you? No, I know my way around Addie's house, thanks. What are you, Addie's doorman now? I am the one who practically grew up here. What are you doing here? It's family night. Then I guess I must have made one hell of an impression. Now, if you don't mind, we were in the middle of watching a movie. What do you want? I took a breath, trying to remember he had every right to be a protective over his time with Addie as I did. Sorry, I exhaled. I'm here to see Addie. Like I said before, you're not the only one whose feelings are wrapped up in this. Inside, Addie laughed, loud, clear, and beautiful, and instinctively, each of us turned in her direction. When we met eyes again, I shrugged. My family is leaving for a week. I just wanna see her one more time before I have to say goodbye. In that case, living room's that way, I guess. With my world spinning off its axis, seeing everyone else right where they were supposed to be made no sense. Dr. Price launched in his chase, sneaking peeks at x rays on his phone. Max laid sprawled on the floor, twirling the remote between her fingers, and Addie was nestled in our usual spot on the love seat, but then now breezed past me and sunk into the cushions beside her. Mason, I was wondering when you had show up. Come on, you missed most of the movie already. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize you were starting early. She slid closer to Now to make room for me on her other side, and I couldn't help but think about this time last year. How she had leaned into me, her head on my shoulder, my thighs grazing hers. Now, the love seat, like our relationship, held one too many people for comfort. Blame no, he didn't believe did Die Hard was a Christmas movie. And since you have seen it so many times, we had figured you wouldn't mind if we got a head start. Addie shot me a nervous look and took my hands in hers. That's okay, right? Addie, I wish you had waited for me. It's a tradition for us to watch it together. You're right, sorry, I should have asked. Before I could dwell on how awkward the situation is, Naw chuckled at the television screen. That driver's having the night of his life. He has no idea what's going on. I know, right? Ignorance is bliss. No, can you pass the popcorn? I won't lie. As we continued watching the movie, there were moments I forgot Now and I ever had a falling out. We fought together just like old times, and a few times I caught Addie smiling at two of us. It's good to see you guys are getting along, especially since No's going to be here for a while. Huh? What do you mean? Next to me, I felt Addie stiffen, and just like that, the awkward tension was back. Nice, Dad, really nice. What did I say? Mason, North's family won't be in town for the holiday, so I'm crashing here for the whole week. Yeah, it's too bad this is the week you are going away with your parents. We could have hanged out. So you and Addie are spending the holidays together. Meanwhile, I had tripped with my parents in the middle of nowhere. For sure, I was jealous of no, but I think even more than that, I was going to be so lonely in the mountains with my family. I could scream. Even though my dad had apologized, there was no way I could just forget all the pain he had put me through. Scars don't heal that easy. Right, your trip to your family's mountain cabin is coming up soon, huh? I wanted so badly for my answer to be no. I didn't want to leave this room where I was surrounded by people I actually cared about. And maybe if I played my cards right, I wouldn't have to after all. Actually, why don't you guys come on the trip with us? You want us to stay over in the cabin with your family, including me. I don't think your dad will be cool with that. Actually, dad has been dying to show off the cabin's new renovations. Wants to get to know you better. He said that. Well, no, not exactly, but I think subconsciously he does. He's been trying to be a better person, I think. I feel like you guys are missing the big picture here. Mountain party. I haven't gone skiing in forever. Hard to argue with that. Count us in. When should we be ready? Sorry. Considering no one was expecting them, the 4th of Never Yuri would have been great. I hopped up and reached for my phone. Let me just call my dad and find out. I slipped into the bathroom and locked the door behind me before dialing dad on the video chat. Come on, pick up, pick up, pick up. The phone rang for another minute and then. I thought you were busy rotting your brain watching silly movies with Price family. What do you want? Dad, I had an idea. Wouldn't it be nice to get a group together for the trip tomorrow? You, me, Mom, Adi, Mac, and Dr. Price. We could even invite Harris and really clear the air. That sounds like a fine idea, son. Just one question. What type of idiot do you take me for? That Harris boy is scoring you kids drugs, isn't he? Why else would you want him there? Oh, I don't know because I miss being friends with him. Why I even bothered asking? I don't have a sinister ulterior motive for you for everything, Dad. I'm not like you. I stopped short, suddenly remembering who was on the other end of the phone. I cleared my throat. Never mind. I could just really use a favor. And you said you wanted to make things up to me. Inviting Nov would go a long way in demonstrating you really want to bury the hatchet. It had show you are willing put in real to repair our relationship as a father and a son. He was quiet for a moment. Then, fine, I said that. I would trust your judgment and I am a man of my words. Invite them. But don't come crying to me if I invite someone of my choice too. Before I could ask what he meant, he hung up without another word. Means it's going to be the bad news. I rejoined everyone and let them know the good news. But I couldn't help but wonder what my dad's last words on the phone meant. When the movie's ending credits finally rolled on screen, Dr. Price laid snoring in his lounger as Mac and Naw argued. I still don't think that qualifies as a Christmas movie. Were you even watching it? With them distracted, I gave Addie a gentle nudge, then climbed to my feet and faked a yawn. I should probably get home. We leave pretty early tomorrow. I grabbed my jacket from the back on the couch and Addie pulled herself out of Naw's grasp. Let me walk you out. We let the door close behind us, and together we picked our way through the freshly fallen snow to my car at the end of the driveway. Real smooth, Casanova. That was the fakest yawn I have ever seen in my life. Say what you want, but it did the trick. You had a woman to get alone. She stopped to look up at me, her long eyelashes sweeping the snowflakes from her cheeks, and shot me a smile that made my heart ache. Well, you have got me. Now what? I glanced down the sidewalk in the direction of the neighborhood park. At night, it would be dim, private, romantic. This could be the perfect time to tell her that I love her. Oh, now we take the scenic route. You go back inside before you freeze. A cool wind blew hard enough to make Addie shiver, and I cupped both her hands in mine, brought them to my lips, and blew warm air on her chilled fingers. This wasn't even close to being long enough, but it's better than nothing. Besides, we'll have plenty of time alone all week. I'll make sure of it. I'm counting on it. With a wave, she walked back up the driveway, and I watched her disappear inside before unlocking my car, turning the key in the ignition and driving away. The next morning, I absent-mindedly closed the latch on my duffel bag, lost in all the ways I had get time alone with Addie. I bounded down the stairs with a spring in my step. Even my dad couldn't wipe the smile off my face. About time you came down here. Our guest needs help loading her bag into my car. Yes, sir. I turned to face the garage, but the girl standing there wasn't the one I was expecting. Oh my god, Anava is there. Hey, when my dad mentioned inviting a guest of his own, he meant my ex girlfriend. But why? Thanks again for the invite. I can't wait to sky with you all. I knew it. Something was definitely wrong. But this was all for chapter 66, and I definitely hope you enjoy that ride with chapter 67. Bye bye till then. I hope you will enjoy it.